Every time you board an airplane, you're putting your life in the hands of the pilots and the cabin crew. You just kind of walk onto that plane assuming the qualifications of the crew are relevant and up to standard. What if I told you for over 20 years, one pilot managed to fly international flights without the proper qualifications? This is the insane story of William Chandler, the fake pilot who fooled an entire airline. William Chandler was a first officer for South African Airlines, a major airline flying routes across Africa, Europe, and beyond. He had the uniform, the experience, and the trust of the passengers and crew. But what he didn't have? The proper license. Chandler held only a commercial pilot license, or a CPL, which isn't enough to fly a large commercial jet. He never actually obtained his ATPL, or Airline Transport Pilot License, which is the required certification for airline captains and first officers. So how did Chandler manage to fly commercial jets for decades without being noticed? Well, it turns out he falsified records and also avoided ATPL training. While most pilots go through intense exams and training to earn an ATPL, Chandler deliberately avoided these tests. Chandler also avoided promotions to captaincy at every opportunity just to avoid scrutiny. He stayed as a first officer for years, knowing that advancing up to a captain would require deeper background checks. So how did he get caught? Well, for years, Chandler was flying under the radar, quite literally. But in 2018, a flight incident finally exposed him. Chandler was at the controls of an aircraft which encountered a major issue requiring detailed incident reports. And during the investigation, South African airline officials found discrepancies in Chandler's paperwork. He had never completed the ATPL exams, meaning he'd been flying illegally this whole time. And once confronted, Chandler resigned immediately, probably realizing that the game was up. So what happened next? South African Airlines took Chandler to court, suing him for damages. The airline also reviewed its hiring and vetting process to prevent future fraud, and shockingly, Chandler was never criminally convicted, despite working as an unlicensed pilot for decades. Even though he lied, flew internationally, and put the lives of so many passengers at risk, there were no serious consequences apart from losing his job. And this case raises serious questions. How many other fake pilots are there out there? And how did it take over 20 years to catch him? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below.